I just realized I'm not wearing earrings. Some days wearing earrings is like half of my personality. No, no sir, not today. That's the loudest fly I've ever heard. Did y'all hear that? Can you hear the bugs outside? In the previous video that I made, the summer bugs, they had something to say. They really do. The cicadas are cicada-ing. There's literally a cicada molting outside of our doorway. I've never seen such a thing, but it's happening. So if you can hear them, it's because it's summer. Guess what's happening today? I'm starting a project pan. Yeah, it's happening. I'm very excited, as you can see. I ended up taking a break that was a little bit longer than I was expecting from Project Pan this year. If you guys followed my Project Pan last year, then you know that I took on a lot of goals. I think by the end of the year, I had completed maybe 35 goals. I'd panned a lot of blushes and finished blushes, and I finished this mega cream bronzer, and I just got burnt out. I really did. And I thought at the beginning of this year, okay, I'll just take a month off, and a month turned into 2 months, turned into 4 months, turned into 6 months. And here we are. It's June and the cicadas are cicadaing, and I'm ready to start again. I think it's time. With new life comes the death of products. That's not right. The end of all things. No. I have things that are coming to an end. I have things in my collection, makeup stuff and also beauty stuff, that is just on its last legs, and I thought, let's put them out of their misery. This is a horrible analogy. I haven't done this in a while, so the planes are planing, as they do every time I sit down to film. The amount of plane noise that I cut out, the amount of pauses, 30 to 45 seconds of just me, like that, you would be surprised. My videos as they are, I don't know if you guys know this about YouTube, and I don't know if other YouTubers are different, but my videos just as they are, filmed as they are completely unwatchable. All of the things that make them okay to watch happen in the edit. There's another plane already. So I'm going to tell you guys the plan and introduce all of the products. I have 10 things over here, 10 makeup items that again are kind of on their last legs. I'm going for easy here. I want to avoid burnout this year, ergo the 6-month Project Pan. Another plane. Why do people have to travel so much? Where are they going? Stay home. For all the YouTubers' sakes, stay home. I'm not going to be taking on a whole bunch of goals in advance this time. I'm just focusing on the products that I think that I'll be able to finish. And when I do, maybe I will roll something. It's like they heard me. They heard me speak ill of them, and they're like, we'll show you. Plane noise. Jet noise? Whatever. They're angry. As I was saying, I'm just going to be focusing on products that I think I could actually finish. This is unreal. How are they not hitting each other? This is... Okay. It seems like their pathways should be crossing, yes? They've got to take turns. I'm gonna need more water. Let's just introduce the products while I have a chance. For those of you who watched my previous Project Pan, you will be familiar with this one. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte in the shade Transparent. It is a face powder, and I use it on my face. I don't know, y'all. This is particularly bad. The tourists are angry that I told them to stop traveling. I rolled this in the later parts of last year, or maybe like halfway through. Could have been around this time actually, June 2024, and I had the goal of hitting pan on it, which, or maybe did I have the goal of finishing it? Yeah, I think I had the goal of just seeing how far I could get. And I did end up hitting pan, and this is how much I have left. I think, especially since we are now in the sweat season, in the humidity season, I'm using powders nonstop. I'm using them multiple times throughout the day. I shouldn't have a problem finishing this, I think, by the end of the warm weather, and that is going to be my goal. I also have this iconic London Underglow Blurring Primer. it has maybe 1 or 2 uses left, if I'm being real. It's hard to tell, the bottle is a little bit blurry, but there's not much left. Maybe at most 4 or 5 uses. I think this will definitely be finished by next update. Another throwback from my last project pan, this is the remains of my Nude Sticks cream blush in the shade Bareback. I had the goal of finishing this one last year. I didn't because I actually depotted it into this Glossier pot, and it's still going. You hear that? Still going. Plain people. Unwatchable. It would be unwatchable if I didn't cut this out. There's still a little bit left in here, probably maybe 10 uses at the most. I try to be a little bit, what's the word? The opposite of conservative? Liberal in my estimations of how long something will take, because it's always longer than you think, especially with something like this. When I depotted it, did I think it would last me an additional... Should I just speak over it? Please put your vote down below. Am I just being perfectionistic by wanting to eliminate that extra noise? Does it actually affect your viewing experience that much? Because it's one thing that makes editing and filming a lot harder. If it doesn't bother you, or if it does bother you, let me know, because they are nonstop. They care not for me and my goals and dreams. Not much left. Is it hot in here to you guys? It was like 95 yesterday, maybe 97. Okay, I gotta use the silence. Stop talking about the weather. There's not much left. I'm guessing 10 uses or less. And I think that if I focus on it, it should go very quickly. I think part of the reason that it has lasted so long is I've kind of set it aside. I've been really enjoying pink blushes recently, but I do love this color and I don't think it will be a problem to use it up. Looks like I have 3 bronzers here. So let's talk about them all. I am not really even into bronzer at the moment. I've been going bronzerless most days, which is kind of weird because it is the summer and a time when I typically would gravitate towards bronzer. But I've just been loving the look of my skin tone, the way that it is, embracing the way that it naturally is and not trying to make it look even just a little bit tanner. I mean, you know, every day is different. Sometimes I am going for a bronzer moment, but far less than I used to. Bronzer used to be a set, concrete part of my makeup routine every single day, rain or shine, summer or winter, and that has just shifted a bit. I am not using it every day anymore. But we have 3 here, 3 that I want to just keep an eye on over the next 6 months. Who knows what will happen with them exactly. I've got the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This one, I'm wondering if I couldn't possibly hit pan on it because I'm seeing a little bit of a ring going on. And then I also have the Bare Minerals Endless Summer bronzer in the shade Faux Tan. This one has a pretty large pan on it, as you can see. It is also older in my collection compared with these other 2 bronzers, so I think it deserves more focus in that regard. I'm not sure that I would be able to finish it this year, especially since I'm not gravitating towards using bronzer every single day, but that I guess would be my goal since it already has a pan. My goal would be to see how close I can get to finishing it. And then we've got the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. That name is always a mouthful. I have the shade Light Medium. This one already has a pan on it, which as you can see, I'm focusing on products that have use already because I'm trying to avoid that burnout. I'm trying to avoid the overwhelm. I just want to enjoy these products. All of the things that I have in here are things that I'm currently enjoying. And I intentionally sidestepped things that do have use on them, but I know are not going to fit into my current makeup preferences. I want this to be a sustainable, happy project pan for me. So I do love using this bronzer. I would say that when I am reaching for bronzer these days, it is this one that I reach for just because it is so seamless on the skin and I really like its effect. Again, with all of these bronzers, I'm not sure about finishing them, but with the 2 that have pan, the Bare Minerals one and the Makeup by Mario one, I think that the only goal that I could have will be to finish them, but I don't exactly expect that I will. I think I just want to keep an eye and see how big we can make these pans. Next thing I have is a Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick. This is in the shade Fresco. Oh, this is gonna fall out. I don't think it's attached. Wow, there's so much more left than I thought. Okay. Can you see how precarious that looks? Wow, I'm so sorry. My hand just won't stop shaking. That's how much we have left. And I fear that, yep, I was right. It's not actually connected. Can you guys see? Can you see? So there's that. Put that back in there. Anyways, I just want to see how far I can get on this. It's not something that I naturally reach for, but I don't think that it would disrupt my routine too much to kind of just slather this on as a base on my eyes or just as an eyeshadow. It is kind of just a pinky light color. So again, not too disruptive, something I could be working on and something we can be keeping an eye on. And then we have this, the MAC Studio Face and Body Foundation. Can you see that line there? The sun shining through. It's right there under Studio. Let me see if I can make a light shine through it. So that is about where we are. This is the face product that I use every single day at the moment. I don't always use foundation every day, but currently that is my routine. If you guys want me to do an updated makeup routine, my makeup is very easy, casual, light, pretty much always, but I have switched up some things about it. And one of the things is I am currently using this every single day. And I don't have the goal of wanting to finish it in the next 6 months because honestly, I feel like I would be rushing through it if that was the case. But I just want to see how far we could get. Maybe we could get down here to where the face and body is. From there under Studio down to where the writing starts in the next 6 months. It's not improbable. We're just going to see how far we can get, how close we can get to that. Last two makeup products here, we've got a blush. This is the MAC Glow Play blush in the shade Cheeky Devil, which I very sadly just discovered is a discontinued color. I'm distraught, y'all. I am distraught. I barely made it out of bed this morning. Now there's lawn guys. Cicadas, lawn guys, people are going in planes to beaches. Welcome to the summer. Yeah, I'm very sad. Thankfully, they did not discontinue this line. They have so many colors in this line, the Glow Play blush line, and it is really my favorite formula or one of my favorite formulas of blushes. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm open to trying a different color eventually whenever I finish this one, but I really did love this color. It is this light kind of baby pink color. They have another one currently, I think it's called Totally Synced, which is more of a purple shift, a light lavender. So I think that I will try that next. That's the only one. So I think that I would try that next, at least whenever it is that I buy this blush again, but I am very upset. I cannot believe that this decision was not run past me. I cannot believe that I was not consulted in some way. There's no explaining these people, you know? So with this one, in terms of goals, it's not necessarily a goal to finish it, but I am currently using it almost every single day. I love it. So we're just gonna see how far we get. I'm keeping track of it. We'll see how big the pan gets. And last but not least, I've got the RMS Living Luminizer. This is one of my favorite highlights, though I haven't been using highlight in my everyday routine currently, but it wouldn't be a struggle to use it. So I'm gonna throw it in as a thing to watch. I suddenly realize how weak my arms are when I am holding up the products and my muscles are like, ugh. They can't handle it. They can't even hold still for a second. Is that an issue of muscle? I don't know. Feels like it. Feels personal. I feel personally affronted. And that is all the makeup products. That's all the makeup products I am thinking about focusing on. No, not thinking about it. We're doing it. Those are all of the makeup products I'm going to be keeping an eye on and tracking my use of. Oh, I'm going to tell you guys about my other little part of the project pan. Ooh, should we do that now? Yeah. Guys, it is so far down in my notes because I just have not been focusing on it. Okay, so originally when I thought about doing a project pan for this year, my goal was to focus on my collection as a whole because I thought that that would help with burnout, and I still think that is true. So I've been kind of keeping track as of the beginning of the year. So these are the numbers for the very beginning of the year. January 2025, I took every single piece of makeup that I owned and I weighed it and I wrote down how many grams it was. So obviously this includes the packaging as well. Then I've been keeping track. I've only weighed one more time since then. So actually it will be really interesting to see when I weigh again how much I've used in the past 4 months or so. So while I'm going to be giving focused updates on these 10 products that I showed you guys, I am also going to be keeping track of the weight of my entire collection as a whole. And that will mean that if I use an item up, obviously that will be a huge weight decrease. But keeping track of the weights means that I don't have to necessarily hyper focus on those 10 products in order to feel a sense of progress. I still will get to use all of the things, and anything that I use will go toward this ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is to use 1,000 grams of product in this year. That seems like a lot. And I did know that in the moment when I made that goal. It seems like a lot because I actually don't know how many grams of product am I using in a week, in a month. So that was my guesstimate. I guessed I want to try to use 1,000 grams, but honestly, even 500 grams would be great, I think. Let me tell you the numbers as of January 2025. All told, total in my makeup collection, I had 3,441 grams of makeup. Obviously, like I said, that includes packaging, so there will be a great benefit to finishing the products. But let's see how much makeup I used up by March 2025. So this was just the first 2 months of the year, and really see how crazy that 1,000 gram goal actually is. Now, obviously, this includes anything that I have used up, decluttered, and then also just natural use. So I started with 159 grams in the primer category, and in those 2 months, I used up 7 grams. For base, I started with 424 grams, and I used up 6 grams. For concealer, I started with 23 grams, and I used up 1 gram. 1,000 is feeling really far off. For the powder, I started with 231 grams, and I used up 0 grams. For bronzer, I started with 625 grams and I used up 3 grams. Blush, I started with 514 grams and I used up 2 grams. Oh boy, y'all. For face palettes, 150 grams, didn't use up a thing, 0 grams. For highlight, I started with 289 grams, used up 0 grams. For eyes, I started with 566 grams. Oh, I used up -1 gram. How does one do that? I don't know. What can I say? I'm an overachiever. Mascara, I started with 57 grams and I used up 0 grams. This is in 2 months, guys. 2 months of use. Eyebrows, I started with 62 grams. You can guess, 0 grams used up. And then for lips, 321 grams was the start and I used up 0 grams. So with most of these things, this is going to be a long haul kind of situation because my progress is necessitated on me finishing things, like getting major use on things. Because of the fact that between January 2025 and March 2025, I only used 20 grams of product total. So if my goal is 1,000 grams, as of March 2025, I had 980 grams left to use. What was that about? Setting reasonable goals and not burning myself out? What was that? Well, yeah, let's forget about that. This is fun though. I'm enjoying this. I like this thing of being able to reach for anything in my makeup collection and having that feel like I'm working towards something, that there's progress to be had. I really like this way of approaching it. And you guys will just have to wait until next update to see how things have changed since March. I mean, March to June, that's 4 months. Just had to think about that for a second. Is it? Yeah. Yes, because the calculations are taken at the beginning of the month. So at the beginning of January and then the beginning of March, that's where my numbers sat. So if you include all of March, April, May, and June, these numbers could be different now. We will both have to see and be surprised. So in the next update, I'll have to tell you guys how I'm going with all of these focus products, but I will also give you the update on the weights for how much I used in the past, well, I guess it will be 5 months at that point. So 5 months of use, that could really shake things up. We'll have to see. We're not counting our chickens before they're hatched. Everything's still hatching. 980 grams left, according to my goal guesstimate of 1,000 grams over the entire year. Now let's get into some beauty products. I didn't include beauty products last year. It was just strictly makeup because I don't find that my collection of beauty products is that large, but it's fun to keep track. And I just want to see how many of these I can finish over the next 6 months. We've got face stuff, perfume, skincare, and hair care here. Let's start with this e.l.f. Sun Touchable Invisible Sunscreen. This was a freebie in a grocery order. They actually threw in 2, so I have a whole other one. And unfortunately, I didn't notice the expiration date, so I chose the one with the later expiration date to start on. This one expires in September. The other one that I have expires in July, and I haven't even started using it yet. I'd say that I'd probably be able to finish this over the summer. Like I think by the end of the summer, this should be done. I will be sure to cut it open to show you guys. This is not my favorite type of sunscreen, the silicone-based ones. I just always feel a little bit weird putting it on. Like it should feel like it's being absorbed into my face, but it never does. It always just feels like there's a film on my face. I don't know about that. It doesn't make me feel the most comfy. It's fine though, it's nice under makeup. It doesn't always play well with all of my skincare products. I noticed that certain serums, they don't like each other very much. It can cause things to pill, but other than that, it's all right. I probably won't repurchase it, but I will finish it, this free thing that I got from the grocery store. Thank you, Kroger. This one is weird because it's a sample that I got. It's Biossance, I know that much, but the name of it is kind of falling off, like the lettering. It's kind of a cool effect if that was intentional, but I don't think it is. Sometimes the little letters end up on my fingers. It's a squalane retinol eye product. So if you want to look it up, that's what it is. And like I said, it is a sample, so I shouldn't have too much of it left because I have been using it. If you want to know how to use it, check out these very clear instructions. It's not even focusing on it because it's like, those are not real words. Isn't that so weird? It is an okay product. I don't know how I feel about eye serums. I always feel like it's a bit like snake oil. Like, do you really need a separate thing for under your eyes, or are you just trying to make me buy another product? It always feels a bit like that. I do treat the under part of my eye, I do treat the skin under my eye differently. Like I will use a more delicate hand. I don't do a lot of rubbing and stretching and things. I use my ring finger. I feel like I learned that in 7th grade. It has never left me. I use my weakest finger. Why is your ring finger your weakest finger? Apparently it is, though, at least according to other people in my 7th grade class. So I always do a little bit of this action with my moisturizer. But I don't know that I need a separate product. This is one of those ones that I'm going to have to weigh. You're not going to be able to see, but I will tell you when it's finished. And won't that be a nice feeling? Okay, just 2 more skincare products. I've got this Good Molecules 1% retinol night oil, and now I have a little bit of a stronger retinol that I'm using, so I just haven't been focusing on this one. But I do really love Good Molecules products. Like everything that I try from them, I love. Their chemical exfoliant, the one that you use overnight, is my favorite product of that kind, and I think that as long as they make it, I will have it in my routine. I really love it. This one I will not repurchase, just I think because I like my other retinol better, but I will finish it. Can you see how much product is left down there? Not much. It's right here on this line. That's about how much is left. Truly not much at all. I think I just stopped using it, and that's why it's still around. I feel like by the next update, if I focus on it, I could finish it. And then there is this skincare product, which I didn't purchase this. Maybe my husband did, but somehow it is now mine. I don't know. It's in our bathroom. It's the Dickinson's Original Witch Hazel Pore Perfecting Toner. I don't have anything like this in my routine, so I feel like it's something I could use up. It's not like it would replace or knock anything out if I did add this step in. I definitely could finish this by the end of the year. Boy, oh boy. Hi. I feel like my most cat-like reflex moments are always when I am completely alone. And I'm like, did anyone see that? Did anyone see that? Catching things off the counter. It's often the result of my own clumsiness. I'm the one who is dropping the thing and catching the thing. So I'm responsible for both. But I just wish that there was more people around to see some of the things that I catch and in the way that I catch them. It might be one of my greatest strengths. Unknown, hidden, unacknowledged, but a strength nonetheless. Okay, 2 hair care products and 2 perfumes, and then We're wrapping this thing up. I have the Cantu Shea Butter Moisturizing Curl Activator Cream. This is one of those products that I can't tell if it works for me or not. And because of that, I don't think it will be a repurchase. It doesn't necessarily mess up my entire routine when I use it. It's usable, but it's not one of those things that when I don't use it, I'm like, oh, I really miss that cream. And that's kind of what I'm looking for in my products, for better or for worse. You can see about how much I have left. It's right there at the smooths and adds shine. So, this much is left in the bottle. I think doable by the end of the year for sure. I don't wash my hair very often, maybe once or twice a week. So that is also how often I apply hair care products, other than maybe like a sea salt spray or something to reactivate everything. And then of course, dry shampoo is used in between, but this kind of hair care product is just whenever I wash my hair. And then the other hair care product that I want to try to finish up is the Curls Blueberry Bliss Sculpting Mousse. This one is also just okay, more effective, I would say, than the curl cream, at least in my hair, but I don't love the smell of it. It has a very kind of faux blueberry scent, which I don't love. This is the only mousse that I have currently, and I don't plan on buying another one until I've finished this up. So this will be getting all of my attention, my mousse attention. And that means that I probably will finish this in the next month or two. Okay, and then the last two products are perfumes. Perfumes that I've had for quite a while, but I kind of spread my love between all of the perfumes that I have. And these ones I think just need a little bit of focus because they're right at the end and I would like to finish them. This is the Kristen S. The One. This is just a little perfume that I got at Target. It smells like all of the Kristen S. hair products and I liked that smell. So I thought, let me try the perfume. It's kind of sweet, kind of simple and easy, and there's very little of it left. If this was the only perfume that I used, I imagine I could finish this in a month, maybe a month or less. And then last but not least is the Dossier Woody Sage perfume. This is supposed to be a dupe for, let me get this right, Malone? Yes, Jo Malone. The Jo Malone Sea Salt perfume. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's the one that smells like sea salt. And I have only ever smelled the other one like in store, so my familiarity with it is limited, but I do think that it is a very similar scent, this Dossier one, and I really like it. The top notes are fig tree and grapefruit. Anything that is a fig scent, I have another fig scent that is from Diptyque. Not the actual spray one because I don't have $250 to use on perfume, but it's the solid one. Did you guys know that Diptyque sells solid perfume and it is much less expensive? So all that to say, it is a fig scent, which I really, really love. I think that's one of my favorite notes. Also one of my favorite things in general. We have 2 fig trees in our backyard that we planted 2 years ago in the summer. And my hope this year is that we will get just a couple of figs, like a little harvest. That would make me so happy. My dad has a fig tree in his backyard and it is voluminous and massive. And actually the trees that we have are offcuts of his tree. It's massive. And he always gets hundreds of figs and makes fig preserves. And it's just my dream. It's my dream. My grandma used to have a fig tree in her backyard as a little girl, and she used to climb up it and eat the figs until her mouth was all like, burned, burned and sour and tart from the fruit. So it's just in my blood. I love a fig. I also love anything that smells like the ocean or summertime. So this is truly an amazing combination for me, the fig tree and the marine notes. The middle notes are marine ones. I love, and a good thing to use during the summer. So that is it. Those are all of the products that I'm going to be focusing on. And then I also have my weight goals that I'm going to be keeping track of. And I am feeling good about it. We're back, baby. It only took us 6 months. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching and making it to the end. I have now consumed my body weight in both water and coffee as I have waited for planes to pass. I must now take care of that. But not before one more plane passes. I gotta go pee. All right. Is it too much information? I don't know. If you made it to the end of this video, you deserve that kind of information. You know, you're a real one. You get it. You get it. You get me. You get what we're doing here. I'm going to stop talking now. And I'm going to go. Wow, that was a big wasp. That was one of those wasps that eat cicadas. Do you know about those? It's happened a couple times in our front yard. It's like a massacre situation. The wasp is like carrying the cicada, which is twice its size, off to its babies. There's some things about nature that I'm just like, there has to be a different way. Feed your baby something else. Oh, now there's a bee on my window.